Hi, friends. It's Joni with Three Feathers Spiritual Wisdom, here with an astrology video about a couple of aspects coming up this week of June 13th. We've got Mercury moving into Gemini, and we have a full moon in Sagittarius. So I'd like to break those down for you, but first I want to thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing, and it helps my channel grow. And then the other thing that I want to mention is that next Saturday, June 18th, I will be at the store called A Higher Plane in Grand Island, Nebraska, where I will be doing readings all day. So if you're interested in dropping in and getting a reading or letting me know ahead of time so I can put you down for a reading, let me know and contact me. Information about how to contact me will be in the description box below. Okay, so let's jump into the astrology for this week. A couple of things that I've selected to talk about. One is on June 13th, Monday, Mercury will move into Gemini, its home sign, where it feels really comfortable. Now, it is not retrograde any longer, but it's still in its shadow of the retrograde because it was at 4 degrees of Gemini when it went retrograde. So, to be fully clear of the retrograde shadow, it will reach past the 4 degree point on the 19th at the end of the week. So, Mercury will pass its shadow. Then you will really feel the uh, the effects of being out of the Mercury retrograde, where communication picks up, the flow of ideas picks up, everything comes quicker and happens quicker. So Mercury in Gemini will give us some clarity, even more clarity after it's out of its shadow, its retrograde shadow. So that's a good piece of news because I think we can all use clarity of communication, especially. And then the next thing I want to talk about is on June 14th, the very next day, Tuesday, June 14th, we will have a full moon at 23 degrees of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, the sign Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So the optimistic, benefic planet of Jupiter is involved there a little bit. But Sagittarius is a very inspirational sign. It's looking at the big picture. It's visionary. And so at this full moon, in Sagittarius, we are really to be looking at the big picture of our life, our goals, where have we been, and where are we going? And what is it that we want to do? Um, so there's potential, what you'd like, what would be really good, if I can speak, what would be really positive is if you have some positive intentions, even though it's a full moon, on the build up to this full moon. If you have anything, any goal in mind that is something you're going to strive for, that you have in your mind, then setting out an intention before the full moon is a good idea. Once the full moon has passed, the moon begins to wane, and so it is getting smaller and smaller, and that's not a good time to do intentions. You'll have to wait to the next new moon as the new moon starts. So anyway, other things that I want to mention regarding this full moon, however, is that there's some aspects that are not so great connecting with this moon. The moon is in a quincunx with Venus, and a quincunx is where the both planets in this aspect are right. They are but they're confused about each other. They don't understand each other. And so this full moon with Venus, Venus being a planet that rules our resources, our finances, our relationships, there might be some issue around finances or relationships uh, that crop up during this full moon. Okay. Then it is in the moon is in a sextile with Saturn, which is actually a good aspect. Um, this Saturn is usually the taskmaster is usually wants us to mature, wants us to take responsibility, and but in this aspect, it's ambition. It's so thinking bold and thinking big. Saturn will give you the opportunity to pursue your ambitions at this full moon. So, which is actually a really good. If you're thinking of something major that you are trying to strive for, you've got a big goal. Saturn helping you, and Saturn is retrograde, by the way. Saturn helping you is not a bad thing in this aspect. The last planet aspect with the full moon is also a challenging one, and that is the moon is going to have a square with Neptune. So it's going to square off with Neptune. There'll be a conflict with Neptune. So Neptune also rules our thinking, but it's the dreaminess thinking. It's the subconscious thinking. And so there is a danger here of self-delusion, maybe biting off more than one can chew regarding the goals, or maybe thinking about how the goals may be easier to attain when they really aren't, or the opposite. Maybe you feel overwhelmed about the goal that you're trying to strive for, and and you think it's more challenging than it really is. And so that thinking becomes an obstacle to you for going forward. So that's something you want to be careful of. And I think that if you're dreaming big, the way the Sagittarius full moon wants you to dream, then give yourself some time after the full moon is done to investigate, to plan out the steps, to look at things very carefully and make sure that you have all the information that you need in order to actually manifest and make whatever this goal is, or whatever this dream is, or wherever it is that you want to go with your life, putting that into a plan that is doable and that you are investigating how to get there. So that's what I have for you on the moon and the full moon and Sagittarius. I hope that's been helpful. That's all happening this week, and I wish you many blessings as you go forward on your journey. Take care.